Welcome to Bloodstained Stories, where we dive deep into the dark and gripping world of true crime. I'm your host, Joseph, and today we're examining one of the most controversial and heartbreaking cases in recent American history, the Central Park Five. In 1989, five teenagers, Kevin Richardson, Antron McCray, Yusef Salaam, Raymond Santana, and Korey Wise, were wrongfully convicted of the brutal assault and rape of a jogger in New York City's Central Park. The case highlighted severe flaws in the criminal justice system and exposed deep-seated racial tensions. Join me as we explore the details of the crime, the coerced confessions, the trial, and the eventual exoneration of these young men. Are you ready to journey into the heart of true crime? Let's get started. On the night of April 19, 1989, a horrific crime occurred in New York City's Central Park that would ignite a media frenzy and lead to one of the most egregious miscarriages of justice in recent American history. Five Black and Latino teenagers were wrongfully convicted for the brutal assault and rape of a white female jogger, Tricia Mailey. This case, known as the Central Park Five, highlights systemic failures in the criminal justice system, driven by racial bias, coerced confessions, and sensationalist media coverage. Central Park, an iconic symbol of New York City, became the center of a nightmare on that spring night. Tricia Mailey, a 28-year-old investment banker, went for her usual evening run through the park. Hours later, she was found beaten, raped, and left for dead. Her injuries were so severe that she remained in a coma for 12 days, with no memory of the attack. That same night, police arrested five teenagers, Antron McCray, Kevin Richardson, Yusef Salaam, Raymond Santana, and Korey Wise, who were in the park around the same time, allegedly causing disturbances. The boys, aged between 14 and 16, were quickly targeted as suspects in the assault on Mailey, despite a lack of physical evidence linking them to the crime. Under immense pressure to solve the case, the police subjected the five boys to intense and prolonged interrogations, lasting up to 30 hours without the presence of their guardians or legal counsel. The teenagers, exhausted and scared, eventually gave videotaped confessions that were riddled with inconsistencies and errors. These confessions became the cornerstone of the prosecution's case, even though they contradicted each other and did not match the forensic evidence. The media played a significant role in shaping public perception of the case. Sensationalist headlines and racially charged language portrayed the boys as wilding youths, painting a picture of a city under siege by violent, lawless teens. This narrative fueled public outrage and fear, setting the stage for a biased trial. The trials of the Central Park Five were divided into two separate proceedings. Despite the lack of physical evidence, and the fact that the DNA found at the crime scene did not match any of the boys, the coerced confessions carried significant weight. The prosecution argued that the boys had acted as a wolf pack, attacking Mailey together. In 1990, the jury found all five teenagers guilty of charges ranging from assault to rape and attempted murder. They were sentenced to prison terms ranging from 5 to 15 years. The verdicts were a devastating blow to the families of the accused, who had maintained their innocence from the start. In 2002, a breakthrough occurred when Matias Reyes, a convicted serial rapist and murderer serving a life sentence, confessed to the attack on Tricia Mailey. Reyes provided a detailed account of the crime that matched the evidence, including DNA that had remained unlinked to any suspect for 13 years. Unlike the coerced confessions, Reyes's account was coherent and corroborated by forensic evidence. Following Reyes's confession, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office conducted an extensive review of the case. The investigation concluded that the boys' confessions had been coerced and that their convictions were wrongful. In December 2002, the convictions of the Central Park Five were vacated, and they were exonerated, having served between 6 and 13 years in prison for a crime they did not commit. The exoneration of the Central Park Five exposed deep flaws in the criminal justice system, including the dangers of coerced confessions, racial bias, and the failure of due process. The case prompted widespread calls for reform, highlighting the need for better legal protections for juveniles and more rigorous standards for police interrogations. In 2014, the city of New York reached a $41 million settlement with the five men, acknowledging the wrongs they had suffered. However, the financial compensation could never truly make up for the years lost and the emotional trauma endured. The story of the Central Park Five has since become a powerful symbol of the fight for justice and the resilience of those wrongfully accused. Documentaries, books, and dramatizations, such as Ava DuVernay's acclaimed series, When They See Us, have brought renewed attention to their ordeal, ensuring that their story continues to resonate and inspire change. The Central Park Five case stands as a stark reminder of the devastating impact of systemic injustice and racial bias. It underscores the importance of vigilance in protecting the rights of the accused and ensuring that justice is truly blind. The wrongful convictions of Antron McCray, Kevin Richardson, Yusef Salaam, Raymond Santana, and Korey Wise are a testament to the failures of the criminal justice system, but their exoneration also offers hope that truth and justice can ultimately prevail. As their story continues to be told, it serves as a powerful call to action for ongoing reform and accountability in the pursuit of justice. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Bloodstained Stories as we delved into the tragic and controversial case of the Central Park Five. If you found this deep dive into one of America's most significant miscarriages of justice compelling, please subscribe and leave a review. Your support helps us bring more in-depth true crime stories to you. Follow us on social media for updates and behind-the-scenes content. Have a theory or a case you'd like us to cover? We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and keep exploring the mysteries of the true crime world.